Tell us about your personal benefits of feeling fit in terms of your energy level, your mental acuity. What are the benefits that you realize on a normal basis?
For me, there's no question that exercise is absolutely an anti-anxiety drug to me. And I didn't realize how much I probably, fortunately, have, having exercise been a focal point of, my life through sport. And it wasn't until injuries that I realized, like, I probably would have dealt with a lot of anxiety and possibly some depressive issues that I don't have to worry about because I mitigate it through exercise. So for me, the well-being of feeling good is the driver. Do I want to have like a physique out of it? Of course, right? But like at 35, I'm not 22. It's not as big of a driver. It really is for me, showing up day in and day out, feeling good to operate at my greatest potential. Like that's it. And I know this because I think if I'm the last person on the planet, I work out. Right? I think like if I'm in that Armageddon situation, like I'm still going to go do my workout because I feel good. And then I think there's value in, and this is where I do think there's value in hard exercise or things like jujitsu, getting out of your comfort zone and challenging yourself because we're simply trying to up-level what our capacity of what we can do is. And exercise is an incredible conduit to show you that personal growth. It is the most simplified way to show you can do and go beyond what you thought was capable. So that is a constant reminder. It is an absolute easy practice of, I don't want to do something that's hard and I'm going to do it when I don't. And what a valuable skill set to have in life. So those are my kind of core drivers of why I'm going to go do it. The stuff that I think is hard and I don't want to do. But the reality is most of it I like, right? Like I want to go hike. Like I want to go explore that trail. I find true like peace being out in nature. Like that is my, again, it comes back to feeling and changing my state and my, getting in the ocean is like a spiritual cleanse to me. Going out in the woods it's lighting me up, man. That's life. So that stuff's very simple. But when it gets to like the more foundational hard workout type stuff, there's a congruency factor of doing things that are hard.
I'm looking at you and what you're broadcasting. You're broadcasting light, confidence, happiness. I have to think a lot of that is a result of your physical regimen, but a result of the mental benefit you're reaping from that. Totally. And if I'm seeing that, then other people seeing that. So it's like to the person who's feeling despair and feeling downtrodden or whatever, it's like, man, if you can source or develop some kind of physical regimen that elevates your being, imagine the benefits that you're going to realize on a 24-hour cycle for the rest of your life.
We have the greatest tool at our disposal. I mean, think about it. If you're somebody who is like, man, I'm feeling like shit. And dude, I've had days, man. I've had days where, because, I'm building a business. I have a podcast. I'm trying to do things. I do other crazy shit. I do some acting. I'm doing all these different things. And I have my struggles. And man, I'll tell you, the easiest thing if I'm in that funk, it's like, move your body. And it makes so much sense. You feel anxiety, right? Like you can do, or like you feel depression, like you can do some journaling, right? That's helpful. You can get in your head and start to catch those thoughts through meditation and realize, ooh, I'm having disempowering thoughts. Let's replace that with an empowering one. But at the same time, you're doing that because you want to feel different. The easiest way to feel different is to shake your shit up and move your body, right? And it could be, like silly. If you're somebody who's feeling down and like depressed, dude, go do a haka in your basement by yourself, right? And like you're going to step away feeling different. So moving your body, I think, is you have access to the easiest tool to completely change your state. And you can do it day in and day out through fun physical activity, through physical stressors that also give you these other benefits of looking good and healthier and all longevity and all the other stuff.
I was talking to my sister and sometimes she asked me, how you doing? I said, I feel like a god. She said, really? She said, why? I said, because if I'm eating properly and resting properly, and if I'm engaging and the activities that make me naturally happy, and there's not a bunch of toxicity in my environment, then yeah, I usually feel like a god. And I wish more people felt like that. And you reminded me something that I want to get to real quick. Can you help me to address arrogance? And when I'm talking about arrogance, I mean like youthful arrogance that, oh, I'm 21, I can eat whatever I want. Or I'm genetically, a little more fit, so I'm going to eat what I want and drink what I want. I think that's a dangerous thing. It's a dangerous emotional path to be on, because I always say nature doesn't give a fuck about your last name, your bank account, where you live. Disease can come to any of our doorsteps. Man, help me to advantage, even if you feel like you have a superior position genetically or whatever the case may be, the advantage of hedging your bet and pursuing a healthy lifestyle.
Absolutely. And there are those people, right? But I think we all know those people who were those people and they no longer are, right? Like we all know that person in high school that couldn't put it on a pound, and then, you see him 10, 15 years later. And it is a slow process that creeps up on people, both physically and I think energetically. But I think another way to even just think about that is, I feel that we should all, no matter where we're at, and this is again to where like honor where you are at, right? Like have self-love and pride in where you're at. If you're just starting out, like, hell yeah, you're on the path, versus somebody who's, Olympic level athletes. Like all you're trying to do is look at this as this is just growth of just challenging where you're at. And there should be no end to that. So if you're somebody who is naturally just lean, and it's like, well, take advantage of that. You have a better starting point, but you should always be seeking improvement. And I would also look at it as like, you need to honor the system. Like you have this amazing gift, this amazing meat sack that's going to take you through this journey of life. You need to honor that gift by, I hate to say treating it right, but like by getting everything out of it, which might also mean going and doing a party weekend, get everything out of this thing that we can. And so I think just honoring the gift, man, and always looking to strive for not perfection, but just progress and growth. And that comes from stepping up and doing the things that you're supposed to do.
So let's talk about the service that you provide your clients, the value of it. What are you offering people in terms of methodology, the overall value, benefits? Like go into however you want to do it. Go into the service that you provide people.
I have kind of two core things. I mean, I do have an online course for people who are motivated enough to be self-guided. I find that is a select few, truthfully. That brings my whole collective knowledge of all the workouts and everything that people need to do to really step into it as a lifestyle, even the adjustments of how we can scale it and bring in accountability calendars. And that's great for some people. And then obviously some other people may need more coaching. But as far as the methodology, it's very simple. And the end result, as far as, it's so hard to describe what feeling good can really do in your life. So my whole goal and mission with people is to help them step into a sustainable lifestyle shift that includes exercise, proper nutrition. Generally, that is going to have a tangible physique goal in the beginning. But as I mentioned, your physique goal will get you into it. How you feel will pull you through it. But then beyond that, it gets very person specific how we integrate those pillars that we spoke about: resistance training, proper diet, lifestyle factors of movement, right? Getting out and doing some fun activity. And then of course, building on our mindset. So what I found to be an effective protocol and how I'm approaching my coaching at this point is I basically do 2-week coaching blocks with people to where we set guaranteed minimum standards. We have shared accountability docs where we co-create what it is that you're going to get done. Because here's where coaching fails. Hey, you're going to work out 6 days this week. Okay, great. Okay. At 6 a.m. every day. And you're like, oh, okay. And I get you all pumped up on that. But then at the end of the week, you didn't really fulfill. And it's like, well, why didn't you fulfill? You didn't co-create. B, well, you had to take your kids to school and like that didn't work for your schedule. And again, minimum standards. So every 2 weeks, we're going to set those minimum standards, and slowly over time, we're going to install different pieces of that. It could be the resistance training, could be the nutrition, could be movement, and we're slowly going to scale that up over time, progressively. I do all of the exercise through video, through corrective exercise. So again, it can look different for everybody. I got a guy right now, it's like week 3. It's like he's getting more mindset videos that he has to watch, and some forms that he has to submit to create what's called the big why, which is him crafting out why this is important to him. And then he has to enroll himself in that for 30 days in front of the mirror every day and just build this belief that why it's important for him to step into this. Other people, it could be, hey, we need to spend more time doing mobility work because when I sent you this assessment, your arm only went to here and we need to go to here. So it's none of it's cookie cutter. All of it's one-on-one. But it's really about helping people grow into that greater version of themselves that includes stepping up, doing the work, and becoming somebody who eats healthy, works out consistently, is out being mobile, and feels and looks really good.
The last 3 years of my life has been uncomfortable for various reasons, but it's a good kind of uncomfortable. And my suspicion is that when a person who doesn't come from a fitness background or a fitness world begins to feel uncomfortable, that is somehow being equated with, oh, this is wrong, or I can't do that. So my term for that is being comfortably uncomfortable.
Love it.
A state where you're not feeling, like you're relaxing and that you can comfortably read a book, but you're struggling just enough where you can fulfill a task. What is an acceptable range of discomfort for the person who's really trying to get going from not being fit to being fit, or from being fit to being elite athlete or whatever?
Great question. Tough to answer. So I'll put it this way. When we're talking like lifestyle habits, it's going to be if we are overstretching to where we can't fulfill on it. So again, like, hey, you said you're going to work out 5 days this week. I'm holding you accountable to that. We've got it in the doc. You said you're going to do it. We've mapped out the days even, and then you didn't do it. And then we tried again the next week. Well, we're stretching too far because we're not fulfilling on that. And the problem is now we're building, again, this identity of failure, and we need to move out of that. So we do need to scale that back down to something that we can hit. But as far as overall, from like an overall concept, man, I love it. Like as far as that, we do need to continuously stretch ourselves. And I think there's like 3 areas for people. I think one is physical, right? And again, it can be where are you now, right? Like you probably don't need to start running a marathon if you have not done anything. Like again, get the lifestyle stuff down. A stretch for me, who's somebody who's fairly fit, is like, I would like to compete in jiu-jitsu again this year. Well, what does that mean? That means I have to do more mobility work because I got a messed up knee, and I got to get in class and drill takedowns more. Like there's some things that forces me to take some activity. Obviously we have to talk desire, right? If you're not getting into action, there's a lack of desire. But man, I think comfort zone stretches can come emotionally as well. Again, I mentioned like I do some acting. Like, dude, it's terrifying. The first time I went into to do an acting class, right? And getting up on stage and like, you feel like a fucking idiot, right? And that's growth. That's being uncomfortable and doing it anyway. And then the next time you go, it's not so uncomfortable. So I don't know that I have a really hard, tangible answer. I will say this, from a physical standpoint, there's not value when you're just beginning to go beat the shit out of your body because you're going to be just sore. Like you can't fight against the physiology. But once you get fit, man, there's some strategic ways to stretch that comfort zone that is, I think, awesome. Like, there's tremendous value there. And I guess this is where doing some hard stuff, but don't start there, right? Like get into where like this is part of your skill set, then go after it. And like, here's one that I love because it's pretty safe, is go do some weighted rucks on an incline. Because the problem with really intense exercise, again, there is going to be usually dysfunctional movement patterns that come with that because the system will fatigue. Like say you do a push-up challenge where you're going to do 100 push-ups every day for 30 days. And well, you only do 20 good push-ups. You're going to start to change your posture. And then all of a sudden you might end up with like a shoulder impingement. So like, was there a value from that stretch to get a shoulder impingement injury? Like probably not. But there is value of saying, man, I went beyond what I can do. And one of my favorite easy ones is to go get a weighted pack, hike up something, because you're going to hit the wall where you're like, I am done. I can't take another step. And then you're going to take another step. And then the next time you're going to go a little further, or you're going to go a little harder. And like, that's a really easy way to scale the comfort zone and say like, I didn't think I could do this, but you got further. So you got to do it you got to do it smart. I know I just kind of went crazy there.
No. It's good enough. Yeah, it's not easy.
Start slow. Start slow if you're just starting, man.
Yeah, or just working levels is what you're saying.
Totally. Okay. Like if it's easy, you gotta kick it up and be honest with yourself. Like, are you just checking the box? Like, don't just check the box. Like, improve.